In this week's Parshat Pinchas, we have the story of the daughters of Tzaphchod who come to Moshe and they say that our father, who is not part of the rebellion of Korach, had died, and he died from his own sins, has no sons, and he can't pass on his name. So please give us a piece of land because they wanted to continue the name of the father. They didn't want, because he had no sons, that should just be lost. And that is the reason they gave for asking for the inheritance. And I would like to point out something about their request. It's been said that when the Bnot Tzaphchod, when it introduces them, it gives their lineage all the way back to Yosef. And Rashi comments that, it's because of Yosef's love of the land, and they showed their love of the land, a desire to have an inheritance of the land, which is so true. But I think there's also something else that's vital in the fact that the Torah takes pains to mention that they were Bnot Tzaphchod, Ben Chefer, Ben Gilad, Ben Machir, Ben Menashe, Mishpachot Menashe, Ben Yosef, Ve'el Shmot Benotav, Machla, Noah, V'Chagla, Milka, V'Tirza. So it goes all the way back to Yosef, and it says specifically that they're from the house of Menashe. We know that Yosef had two sons, Ephraim and Menashe. And Ephraim, we're always told Ephraim and Menashe, and Ephraim got the blessing that really would have naturally gone to the older one, which was Menashe. And when that happened, Menashe didn't feel any sort of, bad feelings towards his brother. He didn't harbor any resentment, any hatred. He was happy for his brother. And that's why up until this day, we bless our children to be like Ephraim and Menashe, that they should have that strong brotherly love. Because that is what's ideal, to be happy for the other, even when they're getting something that you think, or should have been yours, but you're happy that they're getting something good and they're succeeding. And this is a very good character trait that's very hard to find. It's not easy. And I think this is specifically what the daughters of Tzaphchod had in them. And I think this is what they were showing, this in closeness, this family closeness. The five daughters, they came together. They were a group. When it gives us their names, which is more, we're given more than once. We're given them in different orders. And the commentaries tell us the reason why we're given their names in different orders is because to show that not one was more important than the other. But I also think it's to show like they had this bond that was very close, that didn't even have to do with age order or anything else. Just the fact that they were five together, close daughters who shared a common goal, a common purpose, that was that family was important to them. They said, give us an inheritance amongst our father's brothers. And in the Psukim, we specifically see the word brothers, brothers, brothers. And I think that this is trying to make a point. And the fact that we go back with their lineage to Yosef, it was so important to him. All he wanted was to be one of the 12 tribes, to be accepted by his brothers. And so he went out of his way when he was a parent to bring up Ephraim and Menashe in a special way, that they had that close bond. He managed to foster that amongst his children. And that was a trait that was passed down from Yosef all those generations to Slavka. They were able to inculcate that in their children. That, and we learn it's taught to us that when we take care of people, we should do it in, the from a closer circle and out, when we're all brothers ideally, but you first take care of your innermost circle, and then your immediate brother, and then your cousins, and then your distant cousins, and then it goes like that out of how you should be. If you have to do some chesed, something good for somebody else, the order of priority is that the brothers come first. And they understood that, and they understood the value of their father. And when they said to Moshe that Korach, that their father was not part of Korach's sin. The point I think that they were making is Korach was divisive. Korach came and he brought all the people trying to pit them against Moshe. And that what he's saying is our father wasn't like that. He died because he had his own sin, his own weaknesses, but his family was so important. And having an inheritance amongst his brother was so important. And we want to pass that down and we want to continue his name because our father's name is important. And they wanted to be surrounded by their family in their nachla. And hey, this is something that is so valuable, to really care and to look out for one another, that they're all the sisters felt combined with a common purpose, common family purpose, and taking care of one another and looking out for the name of their father is should be the priority, and it's something that's very praiseworthy. And I think that that's a lesson we should learn, that the value of family and the value of looking out for others, especially the people that have passed away. You can do carry on their name. It's an important thing to do, and they're really an example, a shining example to me, that when you really look out for not for yourself, then God really looks out for you, and God made sure to give them a nachla to change what was the status quo at the time. They weren't looking out for their own name. They got their name put in the Torah forevermore, more than once. Um, and that's what it is when you don't chase after honor or try to grab things for yourself, but you're doing things for other people. Um, Everybody wins out in the end. With that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.